Good morning. What's happening? It's like I'm waking up on Mars this morning. Pretty wild, right? The wind finally settled down last night at around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, something like that. I guess that would be this morning. I had to go out there and close up my stove and everything because it sounded like it was about to blow off the table even with the cast iron on it. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning right now. I am working up the motivation to get up, and then I'll make some coffee, and then I'm gonna do a little workout. That's the current situation. So I'll lay here for a little bit longer, try to find that motivation that I put somewhere around here, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm gonna have to stop and get water. 5 gallons, man. 5 gallons just is not, it seemed like it's gonna cut it. And I don't understand why, because it's like, I want to say that I did most all my trips with only 5 gallons for the longest time. But I will tell you one thing, cooking pastas, cooking 9 cups of coffee in the morning, and then having to wash all the dishes from cooking pastas, that is not a good way to conserve water. So that probably had a lot to do with it, the pasta and then the cleaning up the dishes. But at any rate, I gotta find water because I've only got probably about 2 gallons left, and that ain't gonna cut it. If all else fails, I have one of those life straw things that I can circulate some water into my deal with. But I don't know if you know this or not, but I'll tell you in a little secret. We're in the middle of the desert. This place is not, you know, an abundant source of water in general. But we'll figure it out. No big deal. Y'all don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I'll worry about it. Last night when cooking pasta, there were roughly 4 to 5 pieces of pasta shell that fell out whenever I drained the water down into the fire pit there. When I came out here to readjust the awning and all, there was a little mouse that was coming from underneath that rock over to here, and then grabbing the pasta and running his ass back over there. What was the name of that mouse on the Green Mile? Leave a comment down below. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. You remember the mouse on Green Mile? It was an important part of the whole movie, man. Yeah, the mouse on Green Mile. What was his name? Y'all, we've got even bigger issues. We're out of propane. When I say that I have not screwed up this bad in a long time, I'm being for real. I have not made these kind of mistakes in quite some time. I mean, water, propane. What's crazy is last week before I knew that I was coming on this trip, I was like, man, you need to make sure that you got enough propane. I don't have enough propane. I don't even have enough propane to make this morning's coffee. That's a serious situation, bro. Serious. So I am currently in the middle of the route here, and it looks like Needles Outpost, which shows that there's fuel there based off the waypoint that's on the backcountry discovery route. That is 16.8 miles away as the crow flies, so call that 30 miles away. I don't know that they'll have propane. I hope that they have propane, but I don't know that they will. The next place that I could probably find propane is going to be Monticello. And Monticello is roughly 45 miles as the crow flies. So I've got to go through Bears Ears, down past Newspaper Rock, and then get into Monticello. It is currently 9 o'clock in the morning. If I can get to Monticello by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then I'll be happy. But then I'm running the risk of, do they have propane? That's going to be the key. Is the reason is because not everybody carries propane to fill up a 5-pound propane canister. The place in Moab does, but your boy didn't stop. Yeah, so that's the current situation. No coffee, no breakfast, and unless I get propane by tonight, no dinner. All right, so I'm trying an experiment here, and I think it's might gonna work. I hope it's gonna work. I took the water that was warmed up from what propane that I did have, and I'm now pouring it into the coffee grounds. Let's fingers crossed, man, fingers crossed. I mean, I just told you guys I was running low on water, so I hate to waste all of that water. Ow, that thing's hot. I hate to waste all of that water, you know what I mean? I mean, it didn't turn out bad. There's definitely some grinds in it, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Mr. 𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐠. Mr. 𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐠, I'm pretty sure that's it. I think that was the mouse's name on Green Mile. Mr. 𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐲𝐠. Am I right? The coffee is actually not bad. I got saved by the fact that it was almost ready to brew when the propane went out, I believe. Good news is we can get a proper start to the day, you know what I mean? But we're gonna have to find propane and water today. That's the mission. All right, workout complete, vitamins taken, teeth brushed, everything is done. Now it's time to strap up and let's hit the road. First thing this morning, the trail has proven that it ain't no chump with obstacles just as soon as we get out of camp. Wow, man. Pretty though. Man, it's like everywhere you turn with this trail, the scenery's just amazing. Look at that. Unreal, right? It's pretty wild. Definitely the prettiest adventure tour or backcountry route that I've taken. I mean, this, hands down, you're not going to find this scenery anywhere else. And I'd say the most technical for sure. I mean, aside from some of the hardships that I had in Kentucky, you know, it was actually a really sloppy trail. There was a lot of mud and stuff like that, but I mean, this thing's got ledges and climbs and off camber deals, and I mean, this is a tough trail, man. It's a tough trail. What I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to come down and then put my tires where those rocks are, and that's gonna be the safest bet. Well, it didn't quite work out the way that I wanted it to. What we got down wasn't the prettiest in the world, but I dropped down a little bit too much. I mean, it's without a spotter, man, it's extremely hard to figure it out. What I need is one of those front-facing cameras, but that's why you have protection, you know? This is one of those off-camber climbs that I was telling you guys about that are just kind of crazy. Today's video is brought to you by U.S. Action Tracks. Action Tracks are 100% American-made recovery boards that feature a proprietary polymer that's designed specifically to get heavy-duty military vehicles unstuck, this making them the strongest recovery board on the market. The larger handles allow for better grip, the sawtooth ends allow to break up the material that you're stuck in, and they even offer a heavy-duty metal-studded version for heavy-duty applications. Be sure to check out usactiontracks.com to see the strongest recovery board backed by a 5-year, no questions asked guarantee. Now back to the show. Ever since yesterday's scare, if you will, whenever I go up those off-camber crazy climbs like that one back there, I've been locking the rear diff, and I've pretty much kept A-tracks on the entire time. If you guys have been watching for any length of time, you know I'm always a big proponent of in control is better. So anything you can do to gain control, whether that mean lockers or, you know, crawl control or whatever, just anything that you can do to get the most control out of the vehicle is what you want to do. That said, though, you can't ride around. The thing will actually tell you not to do it anything past 5 miles an hour. So far, I'm at 93 miles, and last night, if you remember, I stopped at 77. So, I mean, not even, what, 20 miles yet? And it's been hours. I mean, hours. And it's still steady as she goes, man. My average speed's got to be somewhere around, I don't know, 5 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour. I started sometime around, I think, 10 o'clock this morning. It's now 1:30, and I'm just in the middle of no man's land. There is some light at the end of the tunnel. What looks like it wraps around. It looks like this trail does, and this looks like the final descent, kind of down into the canyon, and then once I get, or into the basin, I guess, I don't know. Then once I get in there, it looks like it might be kind of smooth sailing, so I might be able to pick up some speed. But I tell you, this has been a long, technical trail, full of just white knuckle driving and slow and easy pace, you know. So way up there, right there, if you look real close, you can see there's a little shelter, and then there's some railing around the edge. That is the Needles Overlook in Canyonlands. Oh man, so I just saw a van, and looks like there's a restroom up here, and a visitor center up here, and a campsite. I'm starting to see regular vehicles. And that all points to one thing, and that is, I'm off this trail. Dude, what a hell of a trail. I mean, really. Lockhart Basin is No joke. So there's a weird noise coming from the left. Not sure what the hell that is. I need to pull over and find out though. Figured out what it is. Looks like we're gonna have to take that bad boy out. And I tell you what, sure feels nice to be on this nice, smooth, paved road. As the crow flies, to get to Monticello is roughly 17 miles. I'm gonna say it's probably about 35 miles taking these windy roads. And in this town of Monticello, I'm thinking that I should be able to find both propane and water. Hopefully. Fingers are crossed. How wild is this? Ancient graffiti, huh? That's pretty badass. You wonder what it means, you know? I just wish that there was somebody that could be like, oh, it's just them drawing a bunch of random bullshit, or, you know, tell us what it actually means. 2,000 years old. Wow. Heading up into the higher elevation of the Manning LaSalle National Forest now to give you an idea where we were in Canyonlands. About the highest that we got up to was somewhere around, I want to say 6,500 feet or so, and stayed kind of around the 4,000 foot when we were down, you know, in the basin and in the canyon. Right now I'm at 7,700 feet and climbing straight up. Right up here on the right hand side is the turnoff for the trail. So that's where we need to turn off to continue onto the trail, but it's closed. The road is closed. So I'm gonna have to find a way to bypass this area on the map. I found gas. I have not found propane or water yet. There's a Maverick. I can buy water by the gallon there, and they only do the exchange deals on the big propane tank, so they can't fill my tank. I need propane though. Gotta have propane in order to eat. So that's an issue. Also, the road's closed, so I still gotta figure that whole thing out. But right now, I'm trying to find propane and water. I found propane, thankfully. Much success. All right, so the 7-Eleven here in Monticello had tap water. They let me get it at no charge, and they filled me up with propane. So we're back on track, baby. Now we just need to find out where we're gonna go from here because that road's closed. This road's been a pretty nice, fairly smooth road for the most part. It's pretty cool. It goes down in this little canyon, and off to your left, you can see like the red rocks that you're used to Utah. Off to the right is different type of rock, but before you get to that is lush green. And you would think that there's like a river or something that runs down in there, but I don't think that there is. I'm not showing any water on the map. But it's pretty neat. It's crazy the diversity of the landscapes out here. That's the one thing that always gets to me whenever I'm in this area is the landscape, how it can be literally on one side of the road can be completely different than on the other side of the road. Making pretty good time. It's about 6:45 right now. I'll probably find camp sometime around, I'd say 7:30-ish, 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. That's about what time it starts to get dark. I'm not going to be traveling in the dark, so I'll wait until right around then in order to find and camp. I'm hoping that I'll be close to Mexican Hat or Valley of the Gods. I don't know if I will be or not. I've got a pretty good long while still on this road, I believe. to get down to the other road, which kind of takes me through Valley of the Gods. But at any rate, this whole area is pretty, and it'd be a sight to see regardless. I would just really like to see Valley of the Gods at sunset. So that's the goal. That's what I'm trying to do. Maybe have some nice pizza with a nice Valley of the Gods, Monument Valley sunset. That'd be ideal, man. So that's what I'm working towards, is sunset at Valley of the Gods. Well, here's something you don't see every day. Cow in the way. All right, well, I made it to Valley of the Gods, and the sun has not set, so success. Now it's just time to find a good spot to camp. When I say this place is busy, I mean this place is really busy. Like, I've never seen it this busy. And it's a Monday night. It is literally, it's a Monday night. We're not talking about a Friday or a Thursday or a Wednesday even. It's Monday. And this place is packed. Finally, I was able to find camp here, and I'm also away from everybody else, which is right where I like to be. I am like right in the middle of Valley of the Gods, so can't really pick a better spot than this one here. And I made it right before sunset, so I get to see the sun set down over Valley of the Gods. Now let's make some pizza and put on our hoodie, because it's a bit chilly. That wind don't stop out here, man. It's constant beating on you, beating on you, beating on you, beating on you. That's how the wind is. Just constant, man. Now I know you're probably thinking, well, that's not pizza, that's like a calzone. Hey man, it's 2022. It can be whatever it wants to be. It's gonna taste like a damn good pizza though, I can tell you that. I mean, are you serious right now? At camp? In the middle of nowhere? A pizza? Calzone slash tasty Italian style goodness? It's probably the most beautifully messy thing that I've had in a long time. Camp pizza. All right, well, I am in. And this wind, man, I'm telling you, the wind wears down on you so much that like it puts me in a bad mood almost. Like, it's just so aggravating. There's nothing you can do about the wind. And it's just constant. You open up your doors, shit flies out, your trash flies around. I mean, it's nonstop. It's nonstop, man. It's hard to cook in, and it's crazy. Normally, I try not to do any kind of like bitching on the channel, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things that this is real life. I mean, dealing with the wind constantly. I've got so much sand in my eyes that my eyes feel like they've been punched. So it's like my eyes are bruised. Anyway, let's look at today's stat. My total time was 10 hours and 22 minutes. Average speed, 14 miles an hour. Now, if you look at that speed profile for like the very first quarter, I'd say right there, it's extremely slow, and that is Lockhart Basin. And Lockhart Basin, man, that's a tough trail, and it beats on you. It's kind of like the wind. It just beats on you. Dude, I thought I was never going to get out of Lockhart Basin, but I made it. No sticky situations today, which is good. Moving speed, I averaged 23.5. As you can see, my max speed was 73 miles an hour, and that was on the way down to Blanding because they had closed that little portion off there. I had spent 6 hours and 12 minutes moving, 4 hours stopped doing various different things, which, yeah, it's pretty good, man. So, long trip today. I'm actually making pretty good time. I will be up near the Grand Canyon tomorrow's Tuesday. And Wednesday or Thursday area, I should be around Flagstaff. I'm going to meet Kurt and Jen and the boys over in Flagstaff and hang out with them for a little while. They've got a new box truck that I can't wait to see. This thing is an absolute beast. I'll show you guys whenever I get to it, but man, this thing is sick. And they finally got it done. They built it out themselves, made some modifications to it. It looks really badass, so I can't wait to see that. Then it's Overland Expo, and then we're all going to head out to Vegas, which be fun. And that is the current situation. If anything exciting happens, then I'll grab you guys. If not, then I'll see you guys in the manana. Peace.